On AutoCAD, when working with three-dimensional objects, it's important to always retain a two-dimensional version of your three-dimensional objects should you need to reuse those parts. So what I did was I had you make a layer called 3D when you use the command called boundary, so that if you were to make any errors, the original two-dimensional versions, which are on the initials layer, can be used if necessary. So here they are right here, and I'm going to be working with the 3D layer. Let me turn off the initials layer, and we're going to extrude the outline down and the letters up to create a raised platform for your three initials, and that platform will be this. You saw me originally extrude this rectangle. Instead, let's use this as our shape. So let's make this a little bit larger. Turn on both layers so we could control and modify both. On the 0 layer, draw a line from one corner of the rectangle to the other so we can use the midpoint as a center of this object. Let's scale this shape larger than it is now. Click on Scale, pick everything, hit Enter, specify base point as a midpoint of this line, and scale this up to just about the size of the rectangle. I know, for example, that mine is larger than a little bit, but that's okay. If you want to be precise, you can scale by using the reference option. So if you hit the down arrow or type in the letter R, I can dedicate a specific size and scale it accurately, such as this. My reference length, I'll pick the midpoint of this line again. I'll pick, in my case, the left side of this object right here, and now I'm scaling based on that reference distance from the midpoint to the left of the object. And I'll extend it out to this rectangle. And now it's larger than the original, which is nice for what I'm going to be doing with this object. So it's about 2 inches wide. Let's turn off the initials layer so we can work with the 3D layer. Notice how the colors are acting kind of wonky. They're not blue, they're yellow. All we need to do is a command called regenerate, R-E-G-E-N, and now the colors are looking back like they should. Let's take off this line. Let's start to extrude. Let's go to a isometric called southeast isometric. Here's the original box we extruded. I really don't want that anymore, but I'm going to leave it there for now. Type in extrude, select the outline, enter. We're going to go down, not up, so it's point down, and type in 1/16. And there is part of our object. Let's extrude the letters up. Extrude. I'll do one letter at a time just to make sure the computer doesn't crash or anything. In fact, we should save more often. So I'm pointing up 1/16. I'll click Save to save it. Initials in 3D. Okay, it's saved. All right, let's continue extruding. Enter. 1/16. Repeat that for each of your features. Okay. Now that they're extruded up and down, let's take a look at what we're doing before we go on to the next step. We got to subtract the holes out of the letters R, R, and A. There's a command to do that, and it's called subtract. To subtract, you think of it as a math equation. The command is called subtract. You select the large object, what you're going to subtract from. So I'll pick the large feature of our R and hit enter. Then I'm going to subtract the what. What am I going to subtract out of it? I'm going to subtract this hole, so I'll pick this and hit enter. Now the command is finished. Let me turn on a realistic and you can see the hole. I need to do that again for the R and the A. Let me take the color off, type in subtract again, pick the large object, enter, pick what I'm subtracting with, the little shape, hit enter. Repeat that for the A, subtract, large object, enter, little object, enter. There they are. Okay. All right, take the color off. This rectangular base, I don't want it. Delete it. All right. Currently, the outline is not attached to the letters. We need to do that. We need to join them together. That's called union. Union. Type in union, U-N-I-O-N. Enter. I'm going to select my base, my letters, and hit enter. And now it's all one continuous piece. So I'm going to go back to the top, zoom in, take my color off. I see my three-dimensional object. I need to work in 2D. So I'm going to go back to the initials layer, turn off the 3D layer. These are my two-dimensional objects. I need to add a hole for my keychain. So what I'm going to do here is create a feature.